Cherubim are quite similar to John's four beasts and Isaiah's seraphim. The primary difference is the number of wings. Cherubs have 4 wings instead of the 6 of John's beasts and Isaiah's seraphim. Even so, cherubs or cherubim follow the same archetype, Venus in its period of 4 plasma streamers. The best scriptural description of a cherub is found in the first chapter of Ezekiel. In this chapter, as we noted previously, Ezekiel described his vision of the 4 beasts. We learn later in Ezekiel that these beasts are called cherubs. John first saw the 4 beasts by the river of Chebar. Ezekiel had hinted that these were cherubim when he saw that the face of the ox had become the face of a cherub. Ezekiel's cherubs had only 4 wings and not 6. According to Ezekiel's description, each cherub had 2 sets of 2 wings joined to each other, one set stretching upward and the other stretching downward, covering the body. The 4 cherubs overlapped, making it appear like 4 wings in total. The cherubs had no wings stretching horizontally, as did Isaiah's seraphim. Cherubs, like the 6-winged version of the 4 beasts, fit the original archetype in the heavens. In this particular representation, the 2 arms extending outwards reflect the idea of the horizontally outstretched wings. In an earlier episode, we characterized the locusts and horsemen of Apollyon, the planet Mars, as cherubim-like beings. Though these beings were not strictly cherubic tetramorphs, they did have many of the same characteristics, including bodies like horses, heads of lions or men, wings, and serpentine tails. Cherubim are found elsewhere in Scripture. Cherubim were prominent in the design of the tabernacle and Solomon's temple. They sat atop the mercy seat of the ark and were portrayed on the veil to the Holy of Holies. David saw the Lord in vision and said he rode upon a cherub. This is yet another variation of Mars the horseman on his winged steed, as we have discussed in earlier videos. The most famous cherubim in the Bible are those placed before the tree of life in the Garden of Eden. The association of cherubim-like winged beasts with a tree of life was not confined to Hebrew mythology, as these representations from India and Assyria attest. Note that the 2 winged gods on the cherubim are iconographically identical to Yahweh riding upon a cherub. It is not coincidental that cherubim are placed in front of the way to the tree of life. The archetypes of the cherubim and the tree of life are formed from the same planetary image. Various phases of the ancient polar configuration look like a heavenly flower, plant, or tree. The blossom of the plant of life consisted of Mars and Venus in the center of the blossom, symbolically representing the carpels and stamens, with the plasma streamers forming the corolla or circle of petals. The axis mundi, when present, formed the stem of the plant or the trunk of the tree. It also formed the way or path to the plant of life. The archetype of the cherubim used this same form of the plant or tree of life. The axis mundi formed both the trunk of the tree and the body of the cherub. The planets Mars and Venus form both the center of the blossom and the central head of the cherub, usually a man. The plasma streamers form the corolla of the blossom and the wings of the cherubim, as well as the numerous heads. Not only was the cherubim in front of the tree of life, it was the tree of life. In addition to the cherubim, the Lord placed a peculiar sword in front of the tree of life to protect it from Adam and Eve to take of its fruit. The sword was very likely a curved blade, like a scimitar or shotel. The curved blade and its association with a sacred tree is preserved to this day in various forms of religious and secular iconography. The symbolic basis for the flaming sword which turned every way was the crescent of light formed upon the planet Saturn by the light of the sun. The crescent sword rotated around the central point of the tree of life, protecting it in all directions. The crescent rotated throughout the day and became very bright against the dark sky of night. It truly looked like a flaming sword.